Hey folks, I'm Tina Hui with Follow Coin, and we're here at Money2020 2015 in Las Vegas with Harry Ye. Harry,
Hi Tina.
how's it all going with Binary Financial?
Good. We've been keeping busy. So my name's Harry Ye, managing partner of Binary Financial, a US-based hedge fund that focuses just on trading Bitcoin, and we do large block trades for high-net-worth clients and institutions. We also do a lot of electronic market making.
So, let's talk about the price finally reaching 300.
Of course. Well, Tina, that's the only question people ever ask me is about price. They're like, Harry, what's the price of Bitcoin? Why is it going up and going down? And I always make the comment that, whenever there's more buyers in the market, the price goes up, and when there's more sellers in the market, it goes down. But actually, in all seriousness, the price actually should be much higher now, but because of the recent Bitcoin XT fiasco, when they did that hard fork without kind of doing the network consensus, I think it kind of spooked a lot of people.
Why do you think it spooked people?
Just because, Bitcoin itself, it's an open source, community-driven protocol and currency and commodity. And, anytime you have uncertainty, investors typically like to run to the exits and take cash. I mean, this happens in almost all markets. So, Bitcoin is no different. So we actually think the market was way oversold. We've seen the bottom probably hit like around 180, but it's actually been pretty steady at around 230. And anytime you have a period of time where the price doesn't move up or down, it's called a consolidation period. So imagine kind of a spring. The spring's been kind of like loaded up for a period of time. In trading, it's the same thing. If you have a lot of sideways action, what happens is it creates like a new floor and a new base, and either the price is going to move up down like very, very violently, or it's going to move up down. So if you take a look at a lot of we look at a lot of technical indicators, so even like stochastics, the relative strength indicators. We also look at 4 different time periods, and we've seen some of the talks that I've given. We actually use the exact same technique. So for example, right now, the exponential moving averages for the 10 and 21 day on like 4 different time periods are all crossed over. And that's extremely bullish. So Bitcoin's the type of asset that when it trades, when it moves very, very quickly. Because there's also the fear of missing out. So I mean, I think we would expect a move up to 350 before a little bit of a pullback, because it's getting a little bit overbought right now, but we still have a little ways to go before it hits that technical level where it will pull back.
So, where do you expect the price of Bitcoin is going to be a year from now?
It's really, really difficult to say. I mean, I think fair value that was published, I believe, is about $500. You've got a lot of things happening next year, like the halving is going to actually happen. So I think that will cause the price to also increase. And right now, if you take a look, there's a lot more investment going into blockchain-based companies. Blockstream's doing great. Itbit, Coinbase, 21. You're starting to see a lot more people come into the space.
Right.
And it's funny, like everybody talks about blockchain and versus Bitcoin. It's like Bitcoin is this horrible word, but the reality is it's all the same thing. So now everybody's kind of, including the banks, they're all looking at blockchain-based tech because they realize that this technology, one way or another, it's really, really going to shape financial industry in the next probably decade, if not like 20 or 30 years.
Well, on the floor, we've actually been talking to several payment processing companies and even banks. Of course, there's a big, giant NASDAQ announcement.
Yes.
And, everybody was saying, well, Bitcoin, it's a little bit something they aren't 100% sure about.
Sure.
But blockchain is fascinating to all of them.
Yeah, so it's interesting because I think a lot of people don't understand that Bitcoin is just the token that is used to secure the blockchain network. So blockchain is just really this distributed linked list ledger that is peer-to-peer and has consensus. So blockchain is the technology, but Bitcoin is the token of value that's actually used to reward people for securing that. And what I think a lot of people don't understand is that blockchains can't be, like the most secure blockchain in the world is Bitcoin.
Right.
So you can build these private blockchains, but at the end of the day, you'll still need to use Bitcoin in some way, shape, or form, whether it's like taking a cryptographic hash that you've generated on a private blockchain. I mean, we're actually doing this with some of the stuff that we're working on internally, so I'm not going to discuss too much, but we're using private blockchains, but we're using Bitcoin to help secure them. Because once it goes onto the Bitcoin blockchain, you can't, it's immutable. And
Right.
I think that's probably another reason why I think we believe the price of Bitcoin is actually going to go up, because if people need a way to really secure secure and know that it can't be like overwritten, Bitcoin's really, really the only network that you can do that with right now. So one way, shape, or form, blockchain, whether it's private blockchain, I think it's great that banks, everybody's investing in private blockchains, but they will tie into Bitcoin somehow down the road. That's kind of what we see from a technology perspective.
Yeah, I was curious about that because you're trading, and then people are always talking about blockchain, and then it makes you wonder if Bitcoin's going to just dissipate, right? Which is what people like to debate, and I'm going, well, one can't exist without the other.
Yeah, I think it's true. You can't have Bitcoin without the blockchain. I don't think you can have blockchain without the Bitcoin. But I think now what people are starting to realize is that rather than using Bitcoin directly, there's things like side chains that are coming out. So, Liquid just announced from Blockstream. We love the Blockstream guys. They're doing an amazing job of really, getting all the core developers and everybody together to really, take Bitcoin to the next level. Because Blockstream is very, very focused on Bitcoin, and we're just focused on Bitcoin. And we've also got in the works, some platforms and things that we're actually looking at developing also alongside the front. So it's actually the most exciting time right now to be in fintech. Well, I think the three hottest sectors of investment right now in Silicon Valley are drones, virtual reality, and blockchain.
I agree. Well, that's the sentiment as well. And then at Money2020, it's actually kind of interesting to see everybody's innovating in fintech.
Yeah, I think it's great because if you look at Money2020 about 3 or 4 years ago, I think the Bitcoin Pavilion or the Bitcoin Expo was relatively small. And this year, it's actually quite big.
Right.
Actually, a lot of people talk, and everybody's actually talking about it. I think it's great.
Well, all 7,000 seats had Why Bitcoin magazine on there.
And David, actually, hats off to David Bailey too. Why Bitcoin, they did a great job of putting, getting the word out there.
They ended up having to ship a whole other bunch of Bitcoin magazines, and then I see all these other financial magazine publications, and they're not being picked up. So it's very interesting.
Yeah, it's just a great way for us, like the more exposure that people have to curiosity. And when people see how Bitcoin actually works, it really kind of changes their mind on kind of how money actually works.
As a former trader, why did you get into Bitcoin?
Well, I got into Bitcoin for a number of reasons. Actually, most of my background is actually software engineering, and I did a lot of trading before with currencies, options, and stocks. But the one thing I loved about Bitcoin the most is that it's the market that never sleeps. So even the currency and the FX markets take a break on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Bitcoin, we'll be trading at Christmas, New Year's, Saturday night, last night at 5 in the morning. I mean, it never sleeps.
So you just don't like sleeping?
It's not that I don't like sleeping. I sleep good, but then we have little robots, and we have a few traders that kind of work with us. So we trade around the clock.
We just like to have a more personal touch. But well, what did you think of Money2020?
Yeah, it was a great conference. I think you get all the industry heads, all the people that are really doing amazing stuff in the blockchain world all together. Vegas is a great town too to really throw conferences. People can stay up late. There's great restaurants, great food.
Well, also I think it's been nice. Everyone's saying it's really great that everybody comes from all over the world to just
Vegas is just actually a much nice. Vegas is just a great location to get everybody together, and engineers and Bitcoin people typically like to work pretty late, so it's nice to have you can go eat somewhere at 3 or 4 in the morning after you've been
networking all day. Yes. Well, thank you for being on the show again.
Thank you, Tina. I'm always happy to be on the show. Thanks for having me on.
It's a good timing to have you on the show because we have to figure out what's going on with the price right now because everyone's celebrating.
So nobody's actually asked about the price. Oh, so I'm the first. Actually, yeah, that's usually how most of the interviews are with me. So it's always price.
Price related, of course. Yes. You're our resident trading expert.
Well, thank you very much, Tina.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
Bye.